Yet though. Yeah, there we go. All right. So our guest, our spotlight speaker today for our 10-minute spotlight is Adel Anderson of Life Coach Adel and .com. And as a survivor of a plane that crashed and flipped in a river, she knows now that anything is possible when we take the right action at the right time. As an NLP trainer and coach, Adel serves professionals who require and desire greater emotional fluency, communication skills, behavioral change processes, motivational tools, and harmony for themselves and their team. And so today I'd like to hand it over now to Adel. Do you need the, yeah, you're still muted. And you can go ahead and put your screen up.
Okay, perfect.
And if everybody else mutes themselves out, that should put the screen focus on Adel.
And I'm just going to make it presenters mode. Sorry, my computer is, oh, for God's sake. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay. And I actually can't see you.
Good. You're good.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So studies show that optimists live longer and they live healthier lives than pessimists, even when pessimists' views may be more accurate. There's lots of scuttlebutt and lots of famous people that are talking about, you know, epigenetics, genetic markers to predisposition, what's happening with the thoughts, what's happening with the mood. We've got Harvard, Yale, the New England Journal of Medicine telling us, find your truth, find your wellness. There's so many health benefits that are coming up through this positive thought messaging that I wanted to explore it more. So even the Mayo Clinic popped in. They said that positive thinking and optimism on health actually benefits us more than we could possibly understand. Increased lifespan, lower levels of distress, lower rates of depression, greater resistance to the common cold and other illnesses, better cardiovascular health. It just goes on and on. So why all the fuss? Let's see. Well, positive thoughts are more than fluff and buff. It's a serious game now. So Kelly McConigal, she's a researcher on psychology, and she says that the way we feel about stress actually makes a difference as well. So people that think stress is bad for them are more likely to die from different causes that lead from stress than people that actually think that stress makes them sort of on the top of their game. So the way we feel about different things in our life really matters. So positive thinking helps us with stress management, but it can actually change our body chemistry. And these are the big things. When we talk to people like Dr. Gwen Randall Young, she says that having a negative emotion in our day has the ability to interrupt our immune system for 6 to 8 hours at a time, each and every time that we have a negative feeling. So that's huge. Johns Hopkins University says that people with a family history of heart disease who have a positive outlook are 1/3 less likely to have a heart attack than those people that are negative. So maybe it's time that we shift our perspective on how we think about our stress and what we can do to maintain our health. So we can actually rewire ourselves, feel fabulous, and de-stress. So the idea is that we have these tools that we can identify in our life areas that need to change. If we want to become more optimistic and engage in positive thinking, well, first we must identify areas in our life that we think need a little bit of work. So we can check ourselves. We can daily check our thoughts, check our signature vocabulary. I'm not sure how many of us know that we use about 20 words repeatedly to describe everything about our life. And these words quite often are, for example, combat words. We beat eggs, we struggle, we fight cancer. There's all types of combat words that come up in our vocabulary over and over and over. And when we understand that our brain only thinks in two ways, either in the positive or the negative, then we're either flushing positive or negative chemicals into our bodies. So understanding that our signature vocabulary actually matters then is a game changer. We can start to move into different types of language. And we can, add more things like humor in our lives. Instead of watching a drama, maybe we want to watch a comedy, something that actually makes us laugh. So these little tiny tools are available to us, and it doesn't actually have to be that hard. We might have to reframe some of the ways that we're thinking. If we've said it in a negative way, we want to refine and reframe whatever we're talking about in a positive way. This allows us to build resiliency, to savor the pleasure, the small things in life, stop and smell the roses, practice gratitude, or just even consider that what we do every day on B Team is moving towards a sense of purpose. All of these things actually develop and nurture a positive side of our physiology. The more we can emphasize the positive in our lives, the more we can affect change on our body, mental, emotional levels, and spiritual levels. So I'm going to ask each of you to just do a little immune stress test with me. So grab a pen and yes or no. First question, and this is from Dr. George Solomon's research. Do I have a sense of meaning in my work, daily activities, family, or relationships? Yes or no? Am I able to express anger appropriately in defense of myself? Yes or no? Am I able to ask friends or families for support when I'm feeling lonely or troubled? Yes or no? Am I able to ask friends or family for favors when I need them? Am I able to say no to someone who asks me for a favor if I can't or don't feel like doing it? Do I engage in health-related behaviors based on my own self-defined needs instead of someone else's prescription or ideas? Do I have enough playtime in my life? Do I find myself depressed for long periods of time or feel hopeless over changes or conditions, something that's causing me to feel down? And lastly, am I dutifully filling or prescribing a role in my life that's to the detriment of my own needs? So if you answered no to any of the first 7 of those questions, or yes to the last 2, then your immune system is struggling. So how can we make a difference? We can make a difference one day at a time. So rather than thinking that we have to change our entire life, we simply have to do small things each day, and that's what we can make a difference. So psychology says that negative emotions register in our brain, that our brain is programmed to do specific actions when we think things or when we have a certain mood. Another way to think about it is that your mind is eavesdropping on your thoughts and eavesdropping on your mood. And so automatically, your brain is flushing the hormones and chemicals through your system in direct relationship to what your mood is and what your emotions are, as well as your thoughts. So, but it's not the end game, because science all over the world is telling us that we have more control over our health than we ever considered possible. We can control our physiology because we have the ability to not only control our thoughts, but to control our mood. So it's no longer that we're worried about saber-toothed tigers wandering about the parks. We're actually just stressed out human beings. And we can tell ourselves over and over about the dangers of stress. And yet there's simple things that we can do that can naturally and easily reduce the stress in our bodies and make us healthier. And one of these things is positivity. So optimists, we know they live longer. We know that the brain is malleable and it's receptive to change. And we can change the outcome one day at a time by simply changing the way we think about our life. And here are some steps that will help you. Natural stress relievers. So you can delete the fault finder, this little app in your head that said shoulda, woulda, coulda. And we can be healthier by switching out our signature language. So start to watch for those words to come up and then switch them out to something positive. You can have some self-soothing techniques like disassociation. So if you're having a bad day, you can actually observe that your feelings into the palm of your hand and simply disassociate. You can do mindfulness in many forms. Visualization is a very strong tool to get us into self-soothing. Avoiding the deep dive. So this often puts us into overwhelm by having too many things scheduled in our day. So simply reduce your schedule to ease into the day in a more optimal way. And treating every day as an adventure, expecting to solve the problems rather than looking for errors. Remove the stinking thinking. So negative side of the page or the positive side of the page. Always remain in the positive. And celebrate the wins, the gains versus the losses, the solutions versus the problems. Understand that fitness counts, nutrition counts, and we need to break the monotony. So get up and walk around and just take a little break in your day. And then remember that all of this can be interrupted by halt. Whenever we're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, we've kind of lost the game. So we need to take action in a positive way to get ourselves back on track. And that is my little presentation for stress at the holiday season. And if there is anybody who's looking for a little bit of de-stressing in their life, then